What a lovely day to feel like shit.
This is the Four Eyes Podcast, baby.
Can you pass me the bottle?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get this in. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
good.
sir. Let's open a beer. Would you like a beer to start as well?
Let's do it.
Yeah, please. There you go. That's for you.
Oh, thank you.
And one for me. Cheers.
Cheers. Auguri.
Auguri. Forza Azzurri. Auguri. Wow. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming. This is pretty great. Look at this.
This is awesome, dude. I'm really looking forward to it.
We got everything here ready to go. Took a minute. Had a nice little beautiful dinner, and now we're ready to go.
Yep. Bit of dinner, bit of chat with the Carboni family.
I got to have a little chat with my nonna. It was so beautiful, man. It was so cute.
Man, she's so sweet.
But I was going to say, before I start praising you, fuck you.
Why?
You know why, and I'm going to put you on blast in front of all this. I said 5:30 start.
Oh.
I said 5:30 start is what I said.
No. Okay, yeah.
Okay, can I finish? Can I finish?
Go,
Can I
go.
do this? Okay, thank you. I said 5:30 start, and you're like, yeah, all right, no worries, sounds good. Actually, no, 5:30 was your idea.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, it was your idea, so this is even worse for you. But anyway, said 5:30 start, and you were like, yeah, I'm gonna be closer to 6. Cool, it's all good, no worries. 6 o'clock, get a voice message. I'm in the shower. This motherfucker. Play the voice message, by the way. Play the voice message.
Hey man, if you want the heavy hitting big guests on your show, you're gonna have to work a bit around their schedule, all right?
The disrespect. What do you like? This is a professional show. I've got a real. What, you think I'm sitting here, just like waiting for you to show up? Come on, I got things to do.
Man, you know, I told you, man. The big guests, you know.
I know.
You've
I'll
got to
play
work.
the audio. I'll play what you said.
Everyone knows. Right?
Everyone knows.
You know, scheduling issues.
It happens.
You know, it happens.
It
You know,
happens.
it happens to the biggest stars. You know, the biggest guests on the
Yeah.
pods. So you know.
But it's good. You know, I pulled a lot of strings to get this one hit. This is gonna be. I was gonna say, get ready, man. Let's strap in. I think we just jump straight into it. I think we've had enough time now to sit with this. I mean, you've seen the first episode, so you kind of know what's going on.
I have, yeah.
So that's going to be really interesting. So, like, you've seen kind of a little bit. So you've got, like, I guess you kind of prepared a little bit in a sense. Like, you kind of know what's...
Yeah, I think... So, when you first mentioned it to me that you wanted me on the pod...
Sure.
I was like, you know, keen to do it and happy, but I was also like, man, I don't know, have anything to say on it that's worthy for a podcast. But, you know, I was a bit nervous and whatever, and because you asked me before the last episode came out, and then I listened to the episode last week that you did with Em, and I was actually listening along, and I was like, this is actually like a great topic, like a great kind of... And then I actually started thinking about it, and I started thinking about kind of stuff that I might want to bring up next week when I'm there. And I thought, yeah, like I've definitely got some ideas. Maybe I can contribute, and yeah, probably Em might not have had that advantage because she was first up.
To be fair, yeah, no, I kind of just like...
But no, it was a good pod,
just
man.
wait for it, yeah.
No, it was good.
I'm glad you got a chance to listen to it. You've had a chance to, like... I like that you said think about it, because that's like the whole thing. Because one thing... Sorry to jump in on you, but like one thing that's happened since me and Em recorded... The thinking before, obviously, like, before she showed up, I kind of told her a little bit about what was going on. But then the thinking after, she said what she said. She's had all this time now to think about what she said. And she started to think about it in a different way as well. So it's interesting that you've preemptively thought about it. We'll talk about it a little bit in depth. We'll see if we can unpack it a little bit. And then, I'd love to, you said it before, give some feedback and stuff as well. Like, the afterthoughts that you have after we sit down and talk about this, that's going to be something that
I think really so. Feedback might not be the right word. More just like contributing kind of to the conversation, and maybe just mentioning how it, what thoughts it kind of provoked in me. Well, you know,
I think that's a pretty good place to start. Like, I mean, you've listened to the first thing, and for those people that haven't listened, we're talking about purpose, and I guess what that really means to us as people. it's super broad and it's super like all encompassing. There's a lot of things that are involved with that, but the main focus is the fact that we're having a conversation about it, period. And I'm really interested to know what your relationship is like with purpose. You know, let's start with what you got from the last episode and the stuff that you think that you've got to say in regards to what's already been said in the sense.
Yeah, well, just from the last episode, like I knew going into, like before I started listening, that was kind of the topic. Yeah. And I thought originally, like I was like, oh, I don't know, that's too deep for me. Like it's too, I wouldn't know how to kind of vocalize my, my thoughts on like purpose. Like that's a bit too hardcore for me. But listening to you and Em kind of talk about it was really good, and it actually, yeah, like I say, just kind of made me realize that, even though I haven't really realized it, in the last, I'd say like year or so, my purpose has kind of shifted, and it's changed from, I feel like in this kind of stage of life, like, your late teens and your, formative years.
Late 20s.
It's not. Don't even start.
No.
Early 20s. I'm early 20s until June next year.
Sure.
Your purpose in these kind of years will change because there's so much going on and stuff. And I think that was one of the main things I realized listening last week was how in the last year, probably since I started working at my current job, that my kind of like my purpose, my priorities have kind of shifted a bit. And I think I never really realized it until, last week when I was having a listen. I was like, well, I used to, before I started working at my current job, I was working at Coles and I was studying. I was still, doing full-time study and playing soccer and stuff. And it was like, that was a good job for me. While I was studying, like it was flexible hours, it was casual, so I, didn't really have to worry about, like I had a flexible schedule and stuff, and it was good for me. But then I kind of was getting to the end of my degree at uni, and I'd been at Coles for a couple of years, and I thought, you know what, I need to move on a bit, because it's as I was getting to the end of my degree, my purpose, I suppose, shifted, and I thought, well, I'm not just working just because now. I want to start. I want to move into the field where I think I'm gonna spend my career. And so yeah, I'd say probably in the last year, my purpose has probably shifted a bit. It went from a bit more like, I used to focus a lot on soccer. Like I still do take it quite seriously, but growing up as a late teenager and even a couple of years ago, early 20s and stuff, I was like really like into it, and it was like I just wanted to do that as my career. I wanted to be a soccer player, and like that was it.
Yeah. And
I always like have studied and stuff like straight out of school and whatever, but I never even really thought that was going to be my focus was always soccer player. Train all the time and stuff, and then as you get older and it didn't really work out, I suppose, with soccer, and I still play and keep it competitive and take it seriously, but then I kind of realized, my purpose needs to shift. And I think probably in the last year and a half, where haven't had a couple not so great seasons with soccer, I really realized, my purpose has shifted, and I'm kind of focusing on another avenue of life now.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, like, you've mentioned shift a lot. Can you pinpoint a moment that was pretty influential for you, that was like, okay, time to get up and go? You made a mention just before that didn't have a couple of great seasons, but I'm just wondering now, like, does that apply to purpose in general or just the soccer sort of thing? Like, when you say you've shifted your idea of purpose, do you think soccer had some sort of influence in that, or was it pretty universal when it comes to everything else that you had going on in your life as well?
Look, I think I really like I say, most of my like teenage years and stuff was just focusing on it. And then when I kind of got to a point in the last couple of years, I don't know if I would say there was a pinpoint moment, an exact moment where it happened, but I would say that having two kind of not so great seasons like back to back kind of gradually made me realize, you know, maybe this isn't gonna be my, like, I'm gonna need to go down another path.
Sort of like made you change your perspective a little
Yeah,
bit,
it made me change my perspective, and like I used to take it so seriously, and while I still take it seriously, it doesn't, you know, if you have a bad game or whatever, it doesn't bother me as much as it used to now. Like I kind of realized, you know what, you have bad days and you have good days. It's just one of those things. And so I think, yeah, just it was kind of more of a gradual shift, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's just something, I guess, as I got older, and I think another moment probably was getting my current job.
Yeah.
I think it made me realize that there was actually a lot that like I learnt at uni that is not super relevant, like in practice, like when you actually, like, it's all well and good having this degree and stuff, but you really don't get a lot of experience until you're in the working environment. Yeah, sure. Exactly. Yeah. And I think when I started working then I realized how far I still have to go in terms of work and learning and stuff. That was probably a pretty pivotal moment as well.
So from my understanding from what you just said, it's like the realization of the fact that, oh, this is like there's a little bit more to this than I originally thought. Is that then like shifted your focus from one thing and pulled it towards this idea that there's a little bit more? 100%. That's really interesting. Yeah,
I think so. That was probably one of the main things I thought of when I was listening last week. I thought its purpose, I don't think is always constant. I think it
fluctuates.
Sure. You know, it'll change. You know, like you could, like I said, you know, you could be going down one path and then you realize, oh, this might not work out. I'm gonna shift and do something else. And then change it up. I think also as you grow, as you get older, your not just but like your end goal probably changes as well.
I like that you said end goal, because, sorry, please keep going.
Yeah, no, just basically because, you know, if your end goal kind of changes, like as you might want kids, or you might want to start a family, or you might want to only focus on your career, you might want to focus on traveling, you know, so I think it's always shifting and fluctuating.
So would you say for yourself then it's I guess you could say similar to M as well, where your purpose is sort of intertwined with like aspiration and this working towards of these goals that you have for yourself? So your purpose is shifted in the sense that it's based in what I want and what I can get and what I can give for myself. Would you say it's similar to that?
Yeah.
Something like that? And
yeah, definitely.
Because I wanted to ask you as well. So you've got goals. Obviously, we've all got ideas of what we want and goals for sure. Are you on track with those goals? Like, is your purpose now clear to you, or is it clearer than it was before? Because it's shifted, you've said. So now I'm interested in which way that it's gone. Is it gone in favor of these goals that you have, or is it more based in the fluctuation where it's like it's changing still? You haven't really figured it out. Do you know where you're sitting with this right now? Like the purpose?
I think it became kind of clearer when like it was a bit of a reality check. You know, you realize, soccer's not the be all and end all. It's like
crazy, huh?
It's this much of your life. Well, because when I was growing up, sure. Man, that was all I knew.
That's your truth, man. Like that was your bread and butter. That was your fucking
This is what I wanted to do.
Without even, sorry to cut you off again, but it's like for you personally too, as someone who literally left the country to go and fucking play soccer, like it's pretty intertwined with like your forward steps. So like, of course, that would be huge to then like have this moment like that you've just said where you've come back now and your focus and your purpose is sort of weaned off that and found its way into something else.
It used to be like a major, well, it still is a major part of my life, but then I've realized, probably, like I said, gradually over the last couple of seasons, and then at that point where I got my current job and realized, I've actually, like, if I want to be successful in any career, I actually still have a long way to go. That probably made me realize, okay, like, it made the goals, I'd say, a little bit clearer.
Yeah.
And it just made me kind of, it just made me realize that, like, I've got a long way to go, but I think I'm on the right path. I think I'm on the right path. I'm surrounded. Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit more. Like, you think you're on the right path, and you keep saying goals as well. Sorry to cut you off. I don't mean to do it, but
it's all good.
You said goals, and it's like, what are they now? That's what I'm thinking. It's like you've on the right path for yourself. Do you have something in mind that you? I mean, obviously you've got something in mind.
Yeah.
What is it? Like,
I think I don't have, like, in terms of goals, I don't have anything like material like that. I want to, like, do this. I'd eventually, in the next couple of years, I would like to buy a house, kind of thing. But I wouldn't say I've got a specific, like, date for that and goal, and it needs to be exactly this. But I think the overarching kind of goal is to kind of just be sounds a bit generic, but just to kind of, like, be successful in the career that I'm in.
You're in. Yep.
Yeah.
That's generic as fuck, bro.
It is. Man.
That's generic as fuck.
But I mean, it's hard to. Yeah, I think I've surrounded myself with I didn't do this by choice. I got my job, but I didn't. At the time, I didn't know I was surrounding myself with good people, but I think I have at my job.
That's fucking sick.
Everyone's really good.
Really good.
They're willing to teach me things and help me progress and stuff. So I think that's a huge part of me just thinking that I'm on the right path. And while I don't have any clear cut goals, there's little bits and pieces that I'm working towards. Do
you think that is because you're not really sure, or do you think it's because you've got a lot of different things that you're trying to chase at the moment? Why do you say that you're not really, like?
Well, it's hard. It's just hard to know what's right. Like, it's hard to know. Like I mentioned,
course.
I want to buy a house eventually, but who knows when is a good time to buy a house? Where do you buy?
Probably not now.
Probably not.
Probably not now. But
like when.
Sure,
like,
I get what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to pinpoint. Like, there's so many factors, but I just want to be someone who's successful, and I'm willing to, like, work hard for that. And I think that's something I've realized over the last, like I say, year and a half. And I've probably, I wouldn't say that. Other aspects of my life, like, I'm just not doing it anymore, but I would say that, like, maybe things like soccer and stuff have now, like, where it used to be at the front, now it's kind of like taken a back seat, and I've gone, bit of a reality check, this is what I need to do now. And I think ever since I graduated mid-year, and I've, like, been hanging out with you and all the guys and stuff.
Yes, sir. What's up? Shut up, boys.
Shout out to all the boys. Like, that's something that while I was at uni, I didn't really get the chance to do.
Sure.
And when I graduated and then soccer season finished in, like, September or late August or whenever it finished, I suddenly had kind of all this free time and, working during the week. But all of a sudden, my weekends aren't taken up with soccer, and, I've got to worry about, if I play on Saturday, I can't really go out on Friday, look after me, eat well and stuff. Sure. So now I've, like...
You get right off every weekend, baby.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not written off's a bit strong.
Hang on. He gets fucked up every weekend. That's what I meant to say. No.
But I would say definitely,
healthy,
like, in the last few months, like, just even if it's just, like, once on a weekend, like, going out, having some drinks and stuff, that's something I never used to do because it was always soccer and uni that was it. And on weekends, it was either, going to play soccer or doing assignments and stuff. And now that I don't have that to do, one of my things I told myself when I graduated, I thought, I've got all this free time. I want to enjoy it. Like, I want to go out and hang out with friends, see some more people.
You manifested that shit then.
Yeah.
You did that. Well, I was going to say, like, you are happy with this, though? Like, it's like now that it's shifted into this, like, this is obviously, I think this is like what you want. You want that time for this. And I think,
and then
I think that's great.
And look, there's a chance that next year I'm going to go back and do a bit of further study too.
Sure. Sorry, we'll just not invite you anymore. Sorry, buddy.
Well, that's what I mean. And then because there will come to like a point where I won't have all that time. So while I've got it, that's one of the things that I want to do.
That for me, what that says is that that is really important to you. That time in which you get to spend with, I guess you could say, other people, or time spent doing everything other than what you have really held important. And let me say it like this, like, because obviously soccer was a huge part of your life, and uni was a massive part of that too, and you took that very seriously and you allocated the time, and that was your purpose, I guess, for the moment.
Yeah.
And now that that's kind of not gone away, but it's sort of like taken a step back, like you said, and now this other stuff has come forward as well. Do you think that this is my question? It's pretty long-winded, but it's like, now, do you think going back into, like you said, if you go back into uni and stuff like that, having had this time off and to figure out like what it is you enjoy doing and stuff like that, how much do you think your purpose is going to shift? Do you have an idea of how you sit with that? Do you think it's going to go this way? Do you think it's going to go that way? Do you have an idea? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think when I do go back to studying and stuff, that will probably take the front seat, because it's important to me, and look, it'll only be like a year, or not even a year of study. So, and I'm willing to like sacrifice that bit of time to, like I say, further my career and stuff. Because
that could, I guess you could say, it might be part of the grander purpose, or the bigger scheme and whatnot.
And so I definitely think it will change again, but that's like what I kind of was trying to touch on at the beginning. It's constantly changing. At the moment, I don't have to study. My weekends are pretty free. So one of the things I really want to do is try and hang out with people a bit more and spend some more time, like just unwinding. But then, saying if it, next year, if I start studying, then I'll have to shift my mentality and think, okay, well, I won't be able to do that all the time now. There might be,
you comfortable to do that? To change?
I think so. Yeah. I don't think I will have an issue with that. Like I said, I used to I used to not trying to like.
Fuck! Here we go. Well, here we go.
Everyone has studies and stuff, and everyone who studies or works weekends and stuff knows what it's like to give up weekends and do things like that. But it was really refreshing for me
to have it again.
To have that, even if it's only for like a few months, just to have like a weekend where you can wake up and like just not have to do anything, or like, or not do anything and not have to feel guilty about not doing anything.
I was gonna say too, like the sacrifice, like especially like after hearing you talk as well, I think you've got a really good relationship with making sacrifices by the sounds of it, like, because that's what it is, like purpose. Like when in your case, from what I'm hearing, is when the shift happens, it's like sacrifice is biting its ass, like as it comes through, so it's always attached to it for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty unique in the sense that we all know that it's there, but I think you're giving it a little bit more thought than I would in that situation. Like I'm not necessarily thinking about what I would give up if I have to do this, that, or the other. I usually just do it and then get hit by it, and I'm like, oh fuck, didn't see this coming. So that's really interesting that you have that fucking foresight. I don't know if it's because you're just like, I don't know. I don't know
I don't know. Well,
where does that come from? Do you think
think
it's
everyone does it subconsciously?
subconsciously?
I
you
think
reckon?
so. I think you like I said, it kind of happened gradually, and I didn't even really like realize it. I realized I was kind of shifting towards, well, this isn't working out, or this isn't, my main focus anymore. What am I gonna propel myself into? And I think, people just do it subconsciously. Like I know some of our chats, like you've kind of shifted, and
Oh
got
yeah.
it,
Oh yeah.
like in the last few months, and with work and stuff, and what you're thinking about what you want to do, because maybe your purpose has shifted, or what you're trying to focus on. So I think you said you don't think you do it, but I reckon you do, and you just don't realize it.
See, that's one of those things. It's like, fuck you, man. Fuck you for saying that, but it's like, oh, he's probably right actually, because it's almost like, I think you kind of need that. Like we was talking about it outside a little bit as well. It's like you kind of need that other person to hear you say it to then give you the insight that you're missing from, and that's why I really like this sort of shit, because it's like you hear something from somebody that you've said to yourself so many times before, but they'll say it with their experience and in a way that makes you understand it a little bit more. So when you said that, I was like, oh fuck, like he's kind of right. I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? Like, yeah. I do that sometimes as well, but it is subconscious. I really like that. You subconscious, because at the end of the day, right, this is how I see it. You know what you want. We all know what we want. We all want the thing. Like, we all know what it is.
Yeah.
So we're making these little incremental steps towards it, but we're only really sort of paying attention to the big ones, but the little ones are like just as important as the big ones.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like, this is a good enough point to jump in with the next sort of thing that I wanted to talk to you about as well. It's like keeping the theme of the steps going. It's like, do you think you're on that right path forward? Like, you think you're on the right track to
It
towards?
feels like I am, and if I'm not on like the path, I'm on a path that's moving forward.
Yeah.
So whether it's then you like your purpose shifts again, and you go, okay, well, this has taken me this far. Just do a quick lane change onto the next one. So I think whatever it is I'm doing is I'm moving forward.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And I think that's just the main thing is you just want to make sure that even if it's not super clear, like, oh, this is definitely what I want to do. This is it. If you're doing anything to upskill, learn new things, meet new people, network, I don't know, whatever it is that's relevant to your goals.
Yeah.
If you're doing anything that's allowing you to move a little bit closer, you're doing something right.
I don't want to be this guy, but I'm gonna be this guy.
You're always that guy.
I'm always this guy.
You're always that guy.
Because you're conscious of this fact that you're moving forward all the time. Is there a time in which you felt like you weren't going forward? There was like you taking these steps, like you said, meeting new people, doing this, that, or whatever. Is there a time that you can remember where you're like, "Fuck, what am I doing?"
Yeah, I definitely.
Dude, let's get into that.
Interesting.
Let's get into that.
I reckon it was when it was before I got my current job, but like kind of that 6 months before it. But I was playing soccer and I wasn't having a great time, and even though I was at uni and I was studying like full time, and I was actually moving forward, like what I was studying, and at the end of the day, you're studying to get a degree or whatever. So I was actually working towards that. But because I wasn't having a great time with soccer, and I didn't feel like I was moving forward with anything, because uni is like when you're doing it, you don't feel like you're any closer to
when you're in the thing.
You don't feel like you're moving forward. You think, oh my god, I've got like 4 semesters to go. Like, this sucks. Yeah, so there was definitely a period, I think, where soccer wasn't going great. I was in the middle of uni, and I wasn't I was just working my casual job and stuff. I think, like, is this the right way?
Fuck, what do I do?
Yeah, I was like having a real bad time with soccer, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna, like, no one's becoming a pro at 22, 23. Like, you know, that happens when
just fucking beating yourself down while you're feeling. But that's really interesting though, because that always happens. But I'm curious now. It's like, how did you stop hit yourself on the head and like start picking yourself up?
It kind of just gradually, like, probably just going back to that gradual purpose shift. It just went back to, oh, okay, well, you know, I gradually kind of became aware that, like, you know, soccer's not, while I enjoy it and I really want to take it seriously and stuff, it's, you know, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And then I kind of, you know, kept, you know, plugging along, and then probably when I got my current job, it was one of the things that first, like, it was one of the first times I thought, oh, like, I'm kind of an adult now, like, I've got a office job, like,
fuck,
what's that like?
I did the thing.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, what did that feel like when you fucking got there and you finally did?
I had major, like, I'm sure everyone who, like, when you first start a new job or something, like, kind of, I thought, man, like, because I, obviously on my resume, I had, you know, working, like, studying Bachelor of Business at QC and stuff, and then I get there and I think, wow, I hope they don't expect me to know anything.
Because I just did this.
And then I sit there and I'm at work and I'm learning all of this stuff and I'm like, these guys are going to fire me so quickly when they realise.
They're going to realise I'm full of shit.
I'm full of shit and I have no idea what I'm doing. These guys are going to get rid of me so quickly. But yeah, I think that was probably one of them. Like, as I kind of learned stuff, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm actually, you know,
I can do this.
Yeah, I can do this. And you're always, like, learning. And when everyone I work with is like, much older than me, it kind of makes me feel like I should be there.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like...
That's hard to deal with, though,
yeah.
Hey, when you first step into that environment.
Yeah, and you think, like, because when I was at Coles, everyone was like me. Everyone was either like casual or part-time.
Everyone was like me. Italian.
No.
Handsome as fuck. Plays soccer.
No,
come on, man.
Everyone was at my stage in life.
Yeah, sure.
Like, everyone was, like, working part-time or casual. Everyone was, like, you know, studying. Like, kind of, we all were basically at the same stage of life.
Yeah.
And then you step into an environment where everyone's, like, light years, or it seems like they're light years ahead of you. And you think, oh, God, like, you get a bit of, like, imposter syndrome, I think.
Yeah. That's hard, too. How do you manage that, though? Is that just time, do you think, I
think it's yeah, a bit of time. You realise, actually, that, like, you at least I have anyway with the people I work with. They're honestly so great.
Shout out wherever this place is.
Shout out to Pillar Wealth.
Pillar Wealth. Cut the name. Don't put the name.
Yeah, no, like, honestly, they're really good, and they kind of helped me actually learn stuff. So then it doesn't feel like I'm not you know, don't belong there. Yeah. And then I think the other thing is they also remind me, they go, like, don't forget you are, like, 15 years younger than anyone here. Like, they're all 30 plus.
And that's old by your...
Not old, but
Thanks fuck for that. We're almost 30.
We're not almost 30.
I'm bringing it back, baby. We're almost 30. We're almost 30.
But it's kind of just they remind me, like, we're at different stages in life. So it's okay to be, you know, it's like... It feels like you're behind, but you're not. Yeah. Because you're just at a different stage.
Different level.
But, yeah.
That's good that you're in an environment that can kind of recognize that too, like, and push you to also be like, hey, take it easy on yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you made it, you're here. You don't have to be here right now. You'll get there. That's, you know, like, it seems like a little thing, but that fucking goes a long way. I mean, I'm sure you feel that more than anybody. You're in that spot, but... There's nothing worse than when you walk into a room and the first thing you do, and we can't help it, the first thing we do is we compare ourselves with everyone that's there. Yeah, you're sizing everyone up. Exactly. Can I fight this dude? Absolutely not. Yeah, like, I can't fight him.
Take that guy.
That guy will fuck me up. You? No, you can't take that guy. No way. Dude, but you do that though, and it's like you can't help but sort of go on this weird like self-sabotaging spiral for a little bit where you're like, fuck, I can't do this, man. I can't do that. But you can do that. All it is like the perspective of the situation that you're in. But there's so many factors that come through with that as well. You know, like you said, the age of everybody, you're fresh out of uni, this and that. The fact that you're still there thinking the way that you're thinking now, you're chilling. Like, I think you are really on the right track in the sense of the way you're thinking about that sort of stuff. And, man, I mean, like, kind of comes into what I wanted to ask you as well. Again, is like the way we think about this shit is, I think, make or break. Like, the shit itself might, and when I say shit, I mean like the actual activity or whatever the thing is that we're doing in order to get where we're having to go. Sometimes it's pretty straightforward, but the hardest part is the way we are perceiving what's happening to us and the way in which we are reacting to what's happening to us.
And the mentality you have.
Mentality's huge as well.
Yeah.
It's huge as well. Part of that is, and basically what I wanted to ask you as well, has your mentality affected your position now? Let me say it to you like this. Do you think about that when you're in this position that you're in now, present, future, where you're like, oh, I'm not really where I'm supposed to be right now. I'm kind of deviating off the path. You said before, sometimes you go this way, sometimes you go this way. What kind of pulls you in those directions? Is it the... So many questions in one giant question, dude. I'm so sorry.
No, you're
right. Let's go one.
Yeah.
Because I'm just, like, my brain just goes crazy because I'm...
Yeah.
Let's start with this one. It's like, when you're in that state of, like, thinking about where you are, how much of your mind is against you in the sense that, oh shit, no, this is correct, I'm just not taking this in the way that I need to. Does that happen to you a lot, or are you kind of not all over it, but like you kind of what's that relationship?
I think
like
sometimes like it's normal maybe to get complacent. Like you're probably just like you're doing, you know, even though you think, oh, I'm doing the same thing again today, every time you do it, like you're still learning and stuff, and like, you know, I think it's just natural for people to get complacent and think, oh, I'm like going nowhere. But I think if it's, sometimes it's good to just like have moments like this where you can just step back and go, oh, I'm actually, even though I'm maybe doing the same, you know, same thing every day or whatever, same activities, you're still learning and stuff, and it's important to reflect on that, which is probably something I could do more. Well, have kind of moments like this where you just sit down and just relax, think about, oh, okay, yeah, I did the same thing, but I actually am learning, or I'm moving forward still.
How do you think you can do more of that for yourself? Is it just the case of sitting down and like talking about, okay, this is where I want to be, this is where I want to go, this is where I'm at?
Yeah.
Is it more of that, do you think, or is it more of just like a checking in with yourself where you're like, all right, this is how I'm doing this, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm gonna go next, this and that? How do you think? I
think it could just be just as simple as like
what works for you is what I'm trying to say.
What works for me is probably hard to say, because I don't really take a moment to sit there and stop.
You don't fucking sit there and think about everything that's going
on? No, well...
You, what the...
Everyone...
Yeah.
Maybe like, you know, like at night when you're going to sleep, you have those thoughts.
Of course.
Is probably where it stops for me. I probably definitely.
Can I ask you something as well? I don't want you to take it the wrong way, and I don't mean to offend you, but do you give a lot of thought to this sort of stuff outside of the moment? Do you understand what I mean by when I say that?
As in, do I...
Like when you're thinking about if you're on the right path or if you're going the right way, do you think about that when you're not like freaking out about if you're on the path or not?
Not really. I think you're probably right. When I'm worried about it is probably when I think about it. Whereas when I'm not worried and it's probably going well, like you don't think about it.
You don't think about it because it's
well.
going well, right? Like, well, why would I have to pay attention to it?
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
I used to do that a lot too. I used to just not think about nothing, and then it's hard. The reason why I asked that particular question the way I did is because it happened one day where I was just like really happy, and I was like, "Oh, hang on, are you? Is this still working for you? Are you blinded by like this minuscule little bit of like happiness that this and that gave you? Are you still alright?" And I had a moment where I was like, "Oh shit, I'm deviating.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!" But I was like still holding on to that little thing. Yeah. Oh my god! And I managed to catch myself in a moment before the storm, if that makes sense. Before like it all comes crashing down, going, "Oh fuck, everything sucks. What am I doing?"
Yeah.
I was gonna say as well, like, do you think that is something that is pretty normal for most people in the sense that they don't think about it until it's like, I don't want to say too late, but they don't think about it until it's at the point in which will cause them the maximum amount of anguish by thinking about it?
Yeah, I think you
always
like think of the bad stuff more than the good stuff, I would say. So you're probably always going to think about, like, when something's going bad, like, you know, it could be anything, your job or whatever, it weighs on your mind more than when stuff is going well. You kind of just like take it for granted and you think like, oh, it's like, and you don't think about it too much. I think, I would say most people are like that, and it would probably pay to just have moments, you know, like sit down and just like this, just sit down and reflect on it and think,
you mean sit down and come to a podcast?
Come to a podcast
hey,
with Tony.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I have even, like, when I said, like, when you brought up that point where you asked me, was there a moment when you thought you, like, weren't moving forward and you were just stagnant? I immediately, I've, like, never thought about it before, but I, like, immediately went straight back to that moment there where, like, you know, you're not in a good spot and you're actually kind of moving forward, but there's other bad stuff going on, and you don't think about, oh, I actually am studying and moving forward. You think about, oh, this is going wrong, this is going wrong, this is going wrong. I'm not moving forward.
It's fucking crazy how we lose sight of it, right? Like, it happens. And, like, this is the thing, dude. I think about this shit all the time. I talk about it all the time in the sense that I'm talking about a lot of the things that are bothering me a lot with pretty much whoever will listen. And I always find myself doing the same goddamn thing in terms of my initial reaction to it. I've gotten better at the post-initial reaction. The follow-through reaction is what I call it.
Yeah.
But initially when it happens, it's like, oh, fuck, man. Like, I'm fucked. And then it's taken me less and less time over the years to go, nah, you're okay. Usually it'll take me a couple of days, but I remember I'd be stuck in these fucking states for weeks going, you're a fucking loser, dude. You're a fucking dickhead, dude. You're not going anywhere, bro. And it's like, that is something, and I like what you said about sitting down and having a conversation. There's fucking truth in that, because I kind of feel like that's my truth, because the moment I start sitting down and talking about it, and having an open conversation that's back and forward with somebody about what's bothering me, it makes me feel better. So then the next time that it happens, I can recall in the moment in which I started to think about this and it made me feel bad the last time and everything I did to get out of it last time. I pull that into it the next time it happens. So I think the more time that we have sitting and sharing those things and getting the advice and getting the perspective from other people, and just getting, you know, I think it's mostly the compassion that works for me. It's when other people open up and they're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I do. That does happen to me sometimes. Or, yeah, this is what it's like for me. That then, it, like, subconsciously just gets posited into these, like, gets filed away in all the fucking drawers that I got up here, you know, like right next to the Minecraft fucking recipes for fucking how to make all the shit in that game. It gets put there and then I can kind of reach back for it when I need it.
Yeah.
Do you think that if we were to just sit down more often, that would happen for you as well?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not saying like me and you. I'm just saying, do you think like
In general.
in general, like if you were to sit down more often, you would be able to get better at thinking about the bad? Do you think? Does that make sense? The way I'm saying that to you?
Yeah, I think it's like a I think you could train, not train yourself, but you know, just get better at reflecting and stuff on how everything's going.
Let me ask you this now.
Yeah.
So you agree that maybe it would be better for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna do something about that?
Am I gonna do it? I'm like, look.
I mean, you don't have to. I'm not saying you have to, but I'm just saying, like, I'm curious now, like, because
I think it would be good now that, like, after having kind of this conversation and having a bit of perspective, it'll be easier to, when stuff maybe goes wrong, to pull back and have a bigger look at things. Now that but it's hard to say, like, when you're in the moment.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to go, oh, remember when I did that pod with Tony? Let's take a step back. When you're in the moment and in the thick of things. So I think it's probably... What would you say, like, do you have any good ways that...
Are you asking me a question?
I am.
Get fucked,
You've
dude.
asked me, like,
Get
7.
fucked.
All right.
Nah, I think...
Like, what are some good ways? Because I know you're better at it than me. Like...
First and foremost, let's talk about what I'm better than you at, because very little by my by my description, right?
Yeah.
But
building houses.
Fuck off.
Or building
fuck,
better.
We might actually be on the same level. You heard him out there. He thinks I do nothing.
Yeah, but that's just what Wog dads say.
It is.
You ask my dad the same thing.
Oh, I'm gonna next time I see him.
Yeah.
I'll be like, this fucking guy never does any work, huh?
Yeah.
Doesn't do any work.
Yeah.
But I think... I don't know. I don't think that I'm better at any of this. This is something that I try and remember a lot. None of the things that I think about or the things that I say are new. They've all been said yesterday. Even what I just said has been said by somebody else. But I find solace in that, in the sense that, okay, if it's happened to other people, it's happened to me. So I can pinch from them what worked and what didn't, and I can apply it to my situation. And I don't know. I think the best way. But shit, man. I do know. I'm not. It's not. I think people need to sit down and talk more. Honestly,
yeah.
And they need to sit down and I think listen as well, not just to what people are saying with their mouth, but what people are saying with their body and then their actions as well, post, present, and post and present of the conversations and whatnot. Because you learn by watching other people do things. And I think if you're in a spot in which you're having a bit of trouble or you're in a bit of a state, we've got this weird idea that we can just muscle our way through it. You can, but you'll do damage on the way out because you don't know how to get out of it properly unless you've thought about it and spoken to people and listened to what people have had to say. Yeah. Whether you physically sit down or you listen to somebody over the internet or whatever it is, I think this sort of thing where you sit down and you have someone else be like, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is how it's what's going on, this is where I'm at with it, help me. And then someone going, shit man, I don't know, but maybe try this. That's so important. I think that is such a good way to
just like bouncing off each other.
Doing like little riffs and shit.
Yeah, that's super important. And it's probably not talked about enough these days, or it's probably not like facilitated enough where it's probably getting better, but
I agree.
Like like having a person or a space you can go to and just like talk about stuff.
It's called therapy, I think.
That's true.
But you're right in the sense that it's not done enough. Like there's this weird thing. It's like you've got like. Then this kind of how this all started for me as well. It's like I've got these mates, I've got these friends. I don't fucking know how they think about anything. Yeah, no. I know a little bit, like, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be mates, but it's like, all right, well, what about this? What do you think about this? Yeah. And then I asked the question, and I was like, oh, fuck. You can help me more than I realized you could. Holy shit, what are we doing?
And I think probably, like, it doesn't even have to be an official, like, thing like therapy. It can be, like, a social thing with your mates.
Yeah, you just come over for a beer and just like not talk shit or talk shit. like just do that more. And I think like asking what you need of people is another thing as well that makes all of this shit easier. Being able and feeling comfortable to say, hey, actually, can you help me like this? Or hey, can we do this instead? Or hey, that.
Yeah.
That's really important. But in order to get to that spot, you got to feel comfortable. And I think the only way to feel comfortable is you kind of got to push yourself a little bit. Like if you feel like you're deviating from the path, you feel like you're getting a little bit lost and you can't figure out how to get back, what do you got to lose? Like if you're already falling, you might as well reach out. There's no shame in like saying, hey, dude, I need some guidance here. Like, how can I do this?
Yeah.
This or that. And then your path is your own for sure, but it's not going to be lonely. It doesn't have to be the whole way. I think there's plenty of opportunity for people to help you along the way and point you in directions in which you weren't even looking in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of deviated from the purpose question, but this is like what I was saying to you before. Like, as soon as you start talking about one thing, it goes to something else, and then they're all interconnected. And what I've noticed since we've been talking as well, it's like this. You said it first. I didn't
Said
say
what?
it. You use the analogy of like going on a different path, going in
Yeah.
a different direction and stuff like. And I really like that because I feel like most of these conversations are sort of deviating from the initial path, but
Yeah.
excuse me. Sorry, we had tacos before. I'm fucked.
Tacos and beer.
Tacos and beer. Fuck, man. Anyway, I was saying like the conversation that we've been having today, they've been deviating in different directions, but it's always going up, if that makes sense, because it's happening. We're having a chat. We're going this way. We're going that way. And I think if more people sat down to do that, they don't have to do a podcast.
Yeah.
You don't have to do this shit, but the sitting down to talk about something that leads to something else, that's the most important part.
Yeah, I think so.
I think, and like, to take it back to the whole purpose thing, I think that's where I get a little bit of my satisfaction or gratification. I think when I feel those things, I feel like I'm on the right path. I feel like I'm chasing a purpose, or it is my purpose. When I feel like that, oh yeah, this is good. Like I'm doing something, and I get that a lot from when I sit down with people that I know.
Yeah.
And I get the chance to hear what they have to say about something that I've been thinking about for a while. So, I want to pull it back a little bit because I want to ask you as well, like, because you said before, you were like, yo, I want to get this house, like I want to.
Yeah.
What if you had to really pinpoint something in your future that you want to work towards? What is it? Is it the family? Is it the successful, fulfilling career, or is the fulfillment going to be from the family? What do you think it is for yourself at this moment?
I think at the moment it's probably more towards like the career, having a good career. But I
pass
feel
the
like,
test. Let's go. No kids. Not yet.
Not yet.
But anyway, keep
I don't know. Look, but that's one of the things. Like for me now, like starting a family is like not super. Not that it's not important, but it's not a priority. It's not my purpose. But that's not to say in 3 years or 5 years time I might go.
3 years, fuck, man. Are you sure about that?
Probably not 3 years.
I was gonna say, buddy.
Yeah, 3 years is like. 3 years is only like.
You haven't been to Melbourne yet. You gonna have kids? What the fuck?
3 years is still early 20s, right? So
that's late 20s.
No, that's early.
Gotta be late
That's
20s.
fine.
We
No,
can't
no.
keep doing this shit, man.
Yeah,
We
no,
can't keep doing
3 years is probably too much. But like, and it kind of circles back to the purpose shifting conversation we started with. Just because right now I really am enjoying my work and want to move forward with that. It's not to say further down the track I might go, actually, I'm going to pull it back on the work a bit and start a family. So it's, it's hard to, I would say now more towards work and so, a bit more like that, building kind of my career and stuff. But that's not to say, in 10 years time, or less, or whenever it is, it might change, and I might go, actually, I want to pull it back on the work and spend a bit more.
You're leaving yourself open to.
Well,
the
yeah,
possibility of
I think that's
shift.
just natural. Like no one, like what you want now and what you want in 10 years' time for any person, I feel like it will never be the same.
Yeah.
Like that's why I feel like those exercises where I remember we did it I think they did it for us in high school, where like you start year 8 and you have to write a letter. Did you ever do this?
Yeah,
you write
write a letter to yourself.
Write a letter to yourself and they give it back to you in year 12.
Yeah.
And I actually don't remember getting it back in year 12.
Oh, but those fucking bastards! They
right?
robbed you.
Can you believe? But I think like if like that's just one of the examples where it's like, even in high school is like what, like 5 years?
Yeah.
That's actually quite, and you're so young when you first start high school. Like you're gonna think, oh, in year 12 I want to have done this, this, and this. When I'm 20, I want to do this. And then if you were to then write the same letter when you're in year 12, like the same,
so different.
It would be completely different. No one is ever like half the stuff you probably wrote in year 8 is like you haven't even touched it yet. You haven't even started.
Got even close to it, man.
So and then like that's I think that's just one of the things people. What about you? Do you reckon has your purpose ever shifted at any point? Man.
I asked the questions here, pal.
Mate, you calm down right now.
Oh, Jesus. Dude, I'm not ready for that. I mean, yeah, obviously, I think you said it really well. Like it changes for everybody all the time. I think in the last couple of years, especially, there was a moment a couple of years ago where I was very lost. I was very like, I don't fucking have any clue as to what the fuck I'm doing. And that's why I said what I said before in the sense that I was on the way down in this, like I was spiraling like in my headspace where I was like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, fuck it, I might as well listen to what people around me have to say. And I did. And I listened to my old man and he told me to do this, this, and this. He didn't tell me to do it. He told me to try this. And I did. And then it put me here. And then I was like, okay, fuck. And then I was like, all right, let me listen to other people and see what they say. I'll go this way. Went that way. And what I noticed started happening was I was still going up, but I was all over the place. And every time I would go to that next spot, I would have a different idea of like, fuck, I'm going to be here. Like, this is where I'm going to go. Yeah. Start going towards it, and then it would change. And there would be obviously nodes along the path that were very similar every time I would jump between this, that, or the other. But yeah, the purpose is always it's always been like, at some point, obviously you want the house, you want the MILF, you want the kids, you want the fucking cars, flat screen TV, you want the fucking 458 Italia, you want all the shit, you know what I'm saying? You want all that. But the perspective then comes into play and you're like, oh, okay, I'll have to change this aspect to do this right now because that's kind of what I want more. And it's like, shifting in the sense that my willingness to have this, how do I say it? It's like my willingness to make the sacrifice has really affected and shaped what I think my approach to that, like that goal shit is, because the sacrifices are starting to really, like, I'm starting to become a little bit more aware of their weight, if that makes sense. So
they're probably maybe like they're starting to pay off. Yeah. And you think, oh, well, I'm actually glad I did that.
That's a really good way to put it because I couldn't think about how to say it, but exactly that, where I'm like, you know what? Fuck, I'm glad I lost out here for a bit because look at this. And it was one of the first times, like, in the last couple of years where I'm like, holy fuck, I understand sacrifice. Like, I fucking get what it means now. Yeah.
It's hard, though, because, like, this sounds like, what, this was a few years ago, so you would have been, what, just finished school, or a couple of years after you finished school?
A couple of years out of school, like...
I feel like that's...
Because I'm late 20s now, so it's like...
Not late. But I feel like
it's not even a funny joke. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're saying.
So for context, everyone who's listening, Tony comes over to my place for dinner once, and we were just having a chill, casual conversation with my family. Yeah, all the family. And then he just drops. This
guy just has his whole family there for dinner. It's crazy.
For dinner. Yeah, and then just out of nowhere, he drops the. Well, me and Christian are like nearly 30. And I was
we
like...
are closer to
hang
30
on.
than any other age. I don't understand.
Yeah, well, we're closer to 20 than 30, just
Yeah,
to be
but
clear.
once you pass 21, 22, come on, you can't. You're not even close to the person you were at 21.
No, I agree, but
Ah!
don't ever call me... Don't ever say I'm nearly 30 until I'm like
I won't-
29
I
and a
won't say
half,
it, I won't
please.
say it. And when you turn 29, I'm going to fucking shove it down your throat every 5 minutes.
You turn 29 before me, don't you?
No,
Yes.
no, that's not true.
It is.
April.
June.
Fuck!
Yeah.
Oh,
Told
shit.
you, dude. Absolutely outrageous. In my own home, he comes and tells me I'm nearly 30.
I'm a piece of shit. I'm a scumbag. What can
Yeah.
I say? I know what I am.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's funny. Like, I say that because I say it for two reasons. Because I think it's funny. And
Yeah.
two...
I don't. I fucking can't stand it.
Clearly. And two, it's because it's like a stark reminder of like, dude, you're ticking now.
Around the corner.
Around the corner.
Like,
Because
so... What?
that's why it scares you, I think.
Do you know what scares me? So, like, it's actually... You're actually so right, though. It is around the corner because...
Come on now.
Because if you think about it, so we finished school in... Well, I finished school in 2016, right?
Yes.
6 years ago.
Yeah, 6 years ago.
In 6 years, I'm going to be 29. So that's... Yeah.
Christ.
And it feels like I just finished school.
I actually never thought about it
And
like
it feels
that.
like I just finished school. Like, not just finished, but it feels like... You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. You feel like...
It doesn't feel like I'm as close to 30 as I am...
As you think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
As I
exactly
am,
what you
like...
mean.
Yeah.
Okay, I've just thought of something. I just
Go.
thought of an idea because the back to school shit just reminded me about what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Because you're right, I also think like, oh fuck, like I think back on school and like just outside of school, I'm like, oh, that was not, holy fuck, that was 6 years ago.
I feel like that's a tough period though for everyone. Just finished school.
Absolutely.
Like that's a weird one where you've all of a sudden had to, like, if you choose to go to uni, you have to pick something at 16 or 17 that you think you want to do for the rest of your life. No one knows what they really want to do.
No idea.
And then it's a weird period because, you know, like uni is not like school where it's really structured and you have to do stuff. You like uni, you don't have to. Well, for most, you know, there's obviously like compulsory pracs and whatever for different subjects, but it's not like super strict where you have to rock up at school at 8 and then leave at 3. You have to do homework. You cannot do the weekly exercise or whatever for uni and no one cares.
No one gives a fuck. You can just show up to buy a sandwich. And
Exactly.
Then fuck off.
You can
No one gives a
show
shit.
up at GP, buy a boost.
And then just
it's like,
go,
yeah, I went to
put
uni.
on an outfit. I went to school for my clothes today.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally. No, I've done the same shit.
So I feel like that's a weird period for everyone.
It is.
Where they're
It is.
trying to like,
But
yeah.
I'll also say this is a very weird period for a lot of people too. Like, because I'll use the same shit that you said. 6 years out of school, but 6 years to 30.
Yeah.
So we're in this fucking spot where it's like, oh god,
Yeah,
like, what the
it's-
fuck?
yeah.
It's like, oh my god, because I mean, for fuck's sake, I've got toys on my table right now.
Yeah.
At 30 years old, I'm like,
The action figures, everyone.
they are. These ones don't articulate their statuettes, but whatever, fuck you. You don't understand. It's fine. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you're in this weird spot where it's like you're still close to that, but you're close to this, but you've never been there, but you've been there, so you're kind of holding on to.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. Exactly.
it's weird. It's weird. So now we're in this phase of like letting go and branching out, and that's why there's a lot of people.
That's why it's a weird period. Like everyone goes, well, do you know what you're supposed to be doing?
No.
Like,
No.
is that what you're supposed to be doing? Should we all have mortgages now?
Oh,
what's
are we
going
doing
on?
what he's doing? Do I have to have a kid? Like,
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh man, that's the other thing.
So many fucking kids, bro.
Everyone, stop it.
Hey, so many kids. Stop having kids.
Stop
Freaking-
having
it's
kids.
freaking
You're making
the
me.
fuck out.
You're making
The
us
fuck out.
panic over here.
I don't want to have kids yet.
I
I
don't,
it.
but everyone seems to be doing it, and it's like, well, and buying houses and you know and moving out. I don't want to do that. You know,
Yeah,
everyone thinks they're so cool moving
yeah.
out.
Fuck these people, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck everyone. What is this bullshit?
Yeah.
But I was going to say, before we get more off topic, I had an idea and I want to run it by you. We were talking about it just before, where in grade 8, we wrote ourselves letters.
Yeah.
We've got
So
a...
you did that too.
absolutely.
Okay.
I think I've got mine somewhere. I had a folder of all this shit.
Oh, you gotta show
I would
us if you got it.
fucking love to get it out.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it after this. But
Yeah.
I was going to say, we've got an opportunity now here with some microphones and some recording equipment to write ourselves a letter for the future. If you want to partake in this exercise with me, let's write a letter, or just say something to yourself that is 30 years old watching this, potentially. If
you're an old cunt.
Good start. Good start. Ain't shit changed, huh? In 30 years.
You're 30, man. No, look, I mean, yeah, okay. I
You're
definitely
down?
want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
100%.
All right, well, take the...
All right.
Look at the camera too, so you look directly at yourself.
All right. So you're 30 now. You better have at least some money. You better have more money than I do now. Because if you don't, I'm going to be pissed.
Can't be all about the money. But sorry, no, it's your letter. Do it.
Mate, there's got to be something.
Mm-hmm. Someone's got to have money by the time they're 30, I swear to God.
I just hope by then I've realised I've found kind of a path, and I don't want to say like, I'm at the end of, like, I'm not at the end, but like I'm fully successful in whatever, but I hope I'm a really good, decent way, towards being towards being successful in a career. And it might not even be what I'm doing right now, It could be I might change career in another, I don't know, 3 years. Who knows? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. But when I'm there, when I'm 30, I don't know, man. I hope I'm... Successful is not really what I want to say, but I hope I'm, like, happy with the point that I'm at in life.
Sure.
And I hope that I'm with people that I... that I'm surrounding myself with really good people like I am at the moment. And
you fucking make me cry, cunt. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm such a bastard. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That was gorgeous.
Tony may or may not still be there.
Nah, fuck me, dude. Kick me out, get rid of me. I don't deserve it.
But, no, I just hope, like, I might have a family by then.
I hope so, too.
And I think, it's just about, I don't know, it's hard to say. It's hard to say what I want to be like when I'm 38.
It's fucking weird.
It is weird. Oh my God. All right.
Know. You always, I notice the first thing I do when I think about that shit is I try and grab on the familiar that's around me right now that I like and that I love. And it's like, well, I hope this is there when I'm 30, but it's like, it might not even be there.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Like, imagine, 100%. It's
so
not going to be there.
I don't think it... I think... Manage expectations. Shout out to M for last episode.
Yeah.
We got to manage our expectations from now until we're 30, because a lot is going to change, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's a super valid point, managing expectations, which is like, like what I said, like, I started my job and I'm like, fuck, I don't know anything. And then I actually realized that when I started work, they not knew that, but they knew I was going to be as fresh as anything, and that they were going to have to teach me basically everything. So it's about managing, like, you're always harder on yourself than you think. Like, everyone, when I'm 30, I'm going to have a car, I'm going to have a house, I'm going to have a family, I'm going to have this and that.
Dude, I hope, I'll do my message in a second, but I hope when I'm 30, I'm fucking alive. At this point, I just don't want to die.
The bar's low.
Bar's very low. Managing my expectations. Real time. That's what I'm doing. I don't want to be dead.
Just anyway. Just alive.
Just alive.
Just alive. Just moving.
No, but like me and Em, we came to this conclusion last time as well. It's about managing everything, your emotions, your expectations, managing that from now and moving forward. Because we haven't really been doing it in a way that we've needed to since we've left school, and like now that we're starting to become proper, like, self-sufficient adults, we have to figure out our own method to manage our own expectations and emotions, because the way we react to things and the way that we perceive things can be detrimental to us if we're doing it wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right, but before we continue, I just want to send myself a little message before I'm 30 as well, just before I forget. Yeah, stay alive, obviously, don't die. Try not to die. Try not to probably stop smoking before then.
I was literally about to chime in and say that, man.
Probably should if he's.
Oh look, you'll be fine by 30. It's not gonna kill you before 30. Maybe 40.
Yeah, you should probably start. And don't do the vapes here. Just don't do that. Maybe cut down the drinking as well a little bit. But I don't know. Like you said, I really liked what you said as well. I hope that the people around me now that are giving me the same, like this joy, I hope that if it's not them that are there, I hope it is. But I want that joy that these people are giving.
If it's not the same people, it's the same
feeling.
Same feeling.
Exactly.
They're giving you.
That's what I want, and I think. And obviously, I want a fucking $1 million in a Lamborghini. If not, I'll kill myself.
Yeah.
Cut that out. Cut that out. Cut that out. Bleep that. Bleep that.
It's not getting cut out.
Bleep that. But yeah, no, I think you said it really well as well the first time. Like I love that the feeling that the people that are here now that are giving me.
Yeah.
That I love this, and it's helped me so much.
Whether it's your mates or if you started a family by then,
exactly.
Whoever.
I want that feeling, and I don't think that's something that's out of reach for any of us. I
don't think so.
If we've got it now,
yeah.
we can fucking have it by the time we're there. And
exactly.
I think that's something that I just hope that people don't lose sight of, like, because it's, like, I just thought of it then too, like, it's not a new thought or anything, but it's like, it's the hardest times are about to start popping their heads up now, like, this is when shit's going to get really hard for a lot of people in the next couple of years, if it hasn't already started to get hard. So yeah, I really hope that that's something that remains ever present throughout my life up until that point, and then beyond it as well, is that, I guess you could say it's love, maybe, I don't know, but like that feeling.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, that's really good. That's really good.
I think that's a good exercise. I can't believe I brought up that letter.
Bro, I was going to say, you did a number. This is probably going to be the best podcast that I've ever done.
Oh.
Come on now.
Last week was good with them.
Last week was dog shit.
Oh. He doesn't mean that.
I don't mean that. I don't mean that. I listened to that episode like 8 times. It's honestly...
But like I said to you outside, I think I had a bit more of a chance, I think, than M to think about this stuff, because I had the advantage of listening to last week's pod with her.
But I think too, like, and me and Em spoke about this as well, it's like the conversations are going to be so different between people to people. Like, you had a chance to prepare and whatnot, but it's not ever going to be the same because you're not them.
Yeah.
And that's like, that conversation that I had with them is one of my favorite conversations, same as this one, because it's with that person. What we spoke about was unique to them. Sure, we can talk about the same things that we want to, the same things that me and Em spoke about now, but it won't be the same because you'll have your way of saying it, your way of conveying it to me that is uniquely you, and you can't replace that. And I think it's unfair of me, and I'm obviously joking when I say it, like, that's my favorite conversation. I say that about every one that I do. As soon as I do one and then sit down with somebody else, I'm like, fuck, that was my favorite. It's like, no, my favorite thing is the conversations that I'm having with these people, not the actual... I think you know what I'm trying to say.
No,
it's like 100%. Not the podcast itself is my favorite thing, but like getting the chance to talk to the people is my favorite.
Yeah, and the different like spins on one topic. Everyone's got a different spin.
Everyone's got something different to say, and then everybody brings their own like little quirks and shit into the conversation, which is always honestly my favorite part, is getting to see everybody, ease into that comfortability where their personality comes out a little bit more, and it's really cool. Like, and I really appreciate you coming through to do this, because now we've got this, like, it's a little time capsule, it's a little moment that's been captured forever that we have. It's not just mine, it's yours too. Like, this is something that you have that you can go, fuck, look at that. Like, I mean, in the year or in a bit that I've been doing this, I listened to the first episode that I ever released, that I ever recorded. I was like, holy fuck.
Is that me?
I was like, dude, who the fuck is this fucking sad dickhead? Who is that?
Yeah, what the
I was like, oh my god, that's me. I was like, that's me. Look how far I've come. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And it's been really good, but I was going to say, man, I think that might be a pretty good place to wrap this.
100%.
Yeah. I think we have this, finish this little beer. I gotta go spew these tacos up because I feel like shit. No, I'm not gonna do that. But I am gonna have a cigarette after this.
Absolutely.
I will stop.
I will stop.
I will stop. But yeah, man. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for taking the time. It's a fucking Wednesday, so that's pretty good.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks for
I was
through.
super keen to do this. I was nervous.
Yeah, look at you now.
I was nervous. Yeah, and you're so right. Like once you get in there and you start talking, it's actually fine. You forget, like you feel like you're just here with a mate. To be honest.
Oh, so we weren't mates when this started.
I mean, kind of, but
wow, you're just dropping all the truth now. Huh?
No, as in you just feel
That's
like
crazy.
you forget the camera and the microphones are here, and you kind of just it's just talking, you know.
That natural thing sort of just takes over.
Yeah, no,
sure.
and you've got a really good thing going here, man.
Oh man, no, it's only good because there's other people involved. It's got nothing to do with me.
100%. No, yeah, but I mean, facilitating it and
Sure.
like getting like this is me out of my comfort zone. You've gotten me out of my comfort zone.
Hey man, now you got to do the same to me.
Yeah.
I'm not playing soccer. I'm not
Alright.
fucking. I'm not playing. I'm not fucking
Mate,
not playing soccer.
Oh, can't believe it, mate. You are like the only Italian I know.
I don't want to talk about this.
Doesn't play
Christian, I don't want to talk about this.
Dude, they all. You don't have to take it full serious.
Here he goes. Look
Like,
at this. Look at this.
Mate, just a couple of seasons when you're a kid.
That's-
Play casual.
I played a couple when I was a kid. I played in high school a little bit. That's it. Done. I did my time. I'll have a kick around at the park. Yeah, fuck yeah, absolutely.
Dude.
It's good as fun.
All right. If I end up doing like a summer indoor or a summer six-a-side,
I'd do six.
You're coming.
I'd do six-a-side.
Yeah,
I would
dude.
do six-a-side. That's
yeah,
fun as
yeah,
fuck.
we'll get you some boots.
Oh,
We'll
fuck.
get you some new Nikes.
No, I want some Umbros, baby.
Umbros.
I want some fucking Aldi
Umbros.
Umbros. That's
Aldi
what I
Umbros.
want. I don't want this Nike bullshit.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I was going to say thank you for coming through. This has been really fun.
Yeah, this was good.
been
Thanks for
fun.
having me, dude.
It's been my favorite. It's been my
favorite.
favorite one.
Favorite.
No, man, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
coming through.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for letting me talk shit. It's been good.
Yeah, I'm cutting all of this.
Yeah, you're cutting all of it. Yeah,
Cutting all of this.
Cutting all of it. Yeah, we're gonna keep a couple of things I
Yeah,
said
I'm just
in,
going to
and
use
that's
some
it.
clips for the Instagram, then that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. So by the way, if so, are we doing the videos or is there gonna be some gameplay?
Oh, I might mix it up, actually. I got some
Mix it up.
ideas. I got some stuff. You just have to wait and see.
All right, we'll wait and see. All right, if you need me to record anything, you let
Oh,
me
I'll
know.
let you know. Actually, I might have to hit you up some of that Rocket League.
Yeah,
We'll
get
some
Rocket League
or some
gameplay.
Assassin's Creed too.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
No,
Alright.
it'll be good.
Well, thanks for coming, man. It's always hard to say goodbye because it's never really goodbye, is it?
Well, no.
No.
It's a more until next time.
Yeah, it's until next time. Signing off, sort of vibe.
Signing off. Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time.
Till next time.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. See ya.
See ya.